In the previous class, we have seen about the different types of edge detection techniques. In that, we have seen about this derivative based. We have discussed about this first order derivative, in which we will find out the first order derivative. We have seen these operators, and then the second order derivative, we will try to find out the second order derivation, and the example is Laplacian operator. And later, we discussed about the Gaussian based. In that, I discussed about this Laplacian of Gaussian or LOG. And now in the today's class, we will discuss differentiation of Gaussian and gradient of Gaussian, which is Canny edge detector, and we have differentiation of Gaussian. So in the previous class, we have seen about this Laplacian of Gaussian, in which we will try to apply this Laplacian. Whenever I talk about this Laplacian, that is nothing but I am finding out the dou square f by dou x square, that is second order derivative. So here I will do, first I will convolve the image with the Gaussian operator, later I will find out the Laplacian. That is one method. Or otherwise I will first try to do the Laplacian operator, I will try to do with the Gaussian image. For image I will apply Gaussian operator, nothing but I am doing the smoothing operation, or I am blurring that one. And after doing that, after applying this Gaussian operator to the image, for that I will try to find out the Laplacian. This is called LOG operator, and after applying this LOG, I will try to convolve with the image, original image. Otherwise it is equivalent to the result, like first I will convolve the image with the Gaussian operator, later I will try to find out the Laplacian. Whenever there is Laplacian, means nothing but that is dou square f by dou x square plus dou square f by dou y square. So we have seen this one. So first I will try to find out in this class I have explained how to do this Laplacian, and first I will try to do this on the Gaussian operator. I will try to do this Laplacian, later I will try to convolve with the original image. For that only, first I will try to find out the Gaussian, the function for this Gaussian is with respect to this sigma. This is the formula for Gaussian function, that is 1 by square root of 2f sigma square exponential of minus x square plus y square by 2 sigma square. So I will try to find out this dou by dou x with respect to x and with respect to y. After finding out that one, I will try to find out the dou square f by dou x square, that is second order derivative also I will find out with respect to x and with respect to y. Later I will try to find out the LOG operator. LOG is nothing but I am applying this particular, for the on the Gaussian only I will try to apply this that Laplacian. That is nothing but I will try to find out dou square f f here, not f, this is g and this is g. So I will try to find out the second order derivative for this Gaussian function with respect to x and with respect to y, and later I will do this addition. So this entire thing is called this Laplacian of Gaussian operator or LOG operator. Once I find out this Laplacian, I will try to convolve with the original image. So this is all about this Laplacian of Gaussian operator or Marr-Hildreth operator. And the next topic is, this is differentiation of Gaussian operator. So in which here also I will try to apply this Gaussian only. I will try to use this Gaussian filter only. So, but only thing is, what is the difference between Laplacian of Gaussian and differentiation of Gaussian is, if we, here I will try to use two magnitudes. I will take different different standard deviation with respect to. I will try to take. I will take the first Gaussian width or Gaussian. That is your standard deviation. I will take the first standard deviation as del 1, sigma 1. For this sigma 1, I will try to find out this what is the Gaussian filter with respect to sigma 1 is 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma 1 square exponential of this one. And the width of the Gaussian is changed to a new value. That is nothing but I will change the Gaussian width to another standard deviation, that is sigma 2. So here I will get this one sigma 2. So then this is your sigma 1, this one is sigma 2, and after this one I will apply this differentiation of Gaussian operator, DOG operator. What is the formula for this DOG operator is, just I am subtracting from one Gaussian with respect to this sigma 1 magnitude, I will subtract with the second one. This is called DOG operator, and after applying this DOG operator I will convolve this with the original image. So this is called differentiation of Gaussian. In case of this Laplacian of Gaussian, I will apply this Laplacian of Gaussian and I will convolve with the original image. For this Laplacian of Gaussian, I will try to find out this dou square g with respect to dou x square plus dou square g with respect to dou y square. But in case of this differentiation of Gaussian, I will take two magnitude values or two standard deviation values. For the with respect to this first standard deviation, I will get the function, and after this one, This is with respect to second standard deviation. I will try to do this differentiation of Gaussian. Once I will do this differentiation of Gaussian, I will convolve with the original image. If we take two Gaussian kernels, here I am taking two Gaussian values with different standard deviations. I will apply this two Gaussian kernels, but in case of this Laplacian of Gaussian, I will take only one Gaussian kernel, but here I am taking two Gaussian kernels with a different standard deviation. Apply separately on the same image and subtract these corresponding responses. We will get the output that highlights certain high frequency components based on the standard deviations used. So here standard deviations plays a vital role over here. So that's why I will try to find out this differentiation of Gaussian filter. So DOG operator, that is Gaussian operator with respect to sigma 1 and Gaussian operator with respect to sigma 2. If I apply this minus differentiation, I will apply this Gaussian filter. The first Gaussian filter with the sigma 1 will be applied on the original image, and the second Gaussian filter with sigma 2 magnitude will be applied on the original image. After finding out those images, I will try to do this subtraction. So this will, which will give which will be giving this high frequency components based on the standard deviations using. So here standard deviations plays a vital role. So we need to take the standard deviation values in such a way that whenever I do this division between the standard deviation, it should be between 1 and 2. Then I can say this DOG operator is good, and which will give good results for the edge detection. So I will try to first generate the mask and apply this DOG to the image. After finding out this DOG, after applying this DOG on the image, I will try to find out the zero crossing, and I will apply some threshold value to find out the edges. So this is the method that we need to follow over here. Yeah, this is so this is the process that we are going to apply in the differentiation of Gaussian, and later we will discuss about what is the quality of an edge. So how I can define the quality of an edges means the edge should be robust to noise, and the edges should be localized, and it should too many or too less responses. So based on this, if it is I can explain with one example, like this is the actual true edge, but here I can say it is robust to noise because there is noise, because the actual edges is in this manner, but I am getting this value like this. So this is very poor robustness to noise. So whenever this is robust to noise, I can say the edge quality is good, and it should be localized. It should be localized, but here the edge is in this direction, but I am getting this in this way, and I am getting this point over here. So but actually I should get like this. So this is called poor localization. Whenever I am having like this, then I can say it is poor localized. And too many responses, actual my edge is this one, but I am getting extra points like this, so then I can say it is getting too many responses, or otherwise too less means I am having only two values, then I can say this is too less responses. So whenever the edge is robust to noise and all the edge points are localized or correctly, we are getting the correct edges, and it should get only the exact responses, then I can say the quality of edge is very good. So based on this quality of an edge, we are designing one more operator called canny edge detection. So which is used to find out a good edge detection and good edge localization, and only one response to each edge. So based on this one, based on the three criteria which is used to measure the quality of the edge, Canny is a researcher or scientist who uh, detected this edge detection algorithm. So that is called Canny edge detector. Is an edge detection operator that uses a multi-stage algorithm. Here we are following some different stages. So that's why this is a multi-stage algorithm to detect a wide range of edges in the images. This algorithm was developed by John F. Canny in 1986. You can see his paper also. It is his paper, that is your a computational approach to edge detection. This is John Canny. He published this paper in the year 1986. You can go through this paper also. So what is this Canny approach is? It is based on the optimizing the trade-off between two performance criteria, and can be described as it should the edge should be good edge detection, should be capable to detect only real edge points and discard all the false edge points. This is the first criteria, and the second one is edge localization, should have the ability to produce edge points which are close to real edge. It should not produce like here. If I are having this one, it is poor localization because our actual edges are this one, but I am getting these 2 extra points, and this edge should contain only one response to each edge, should not produce any false or double or spurious edges. Like here, actual edge is this one, but I am getting all these extra points, which are nothing but which will give some double edge kind of feeling will be getting. So whenever we are having this good edge detection and good localization and only one response to each edge, to satisfy these criteria, Canny used this approach. So in case of this Canny edge detector, to understand the Canny edge detector, the reader has to go through the following sequence. So it is not like traditional edge detectors. In case of traditional edge detectors, we will try to take one filter, and I will filter or mask, and I will try to apply that mask on the image. I will just mask, I will do that on the image. I will apply that particular mask or filter on the image, and after that one, I will try to get those edges. But in case of this one, it has to follow some different steps. I can say it is a Canny edge algorithm. Like I need to apply first Gaussian blur. So same thing, Gaussian filter is applied, and after this one I will try to find out the gradient intensity of an image. Whenever there is gradient operator is nothing but it is first order derivative. So I can use Sobel operator or Robert operator or anything. So that is gradient intensity. I will try to find out. Gradient intensity means always I will try to find out gx, gy values. That is dou f by dou x and dou f by dou y. And after that I will try to find out the magnitude using this formula. That is gx square, gy square, and I will try to find out the direction by using this formula. So whenever there is gradient is nothing but you have to use these formulas. I have to use these formulas, and after this one it will remove the pixels that are not edges. What is that step is called non-maximum suppression. We will use a technique called non-maximum suppression. Later the last step is apply hysteresis thresholding. The last step is thresholding. So these are the 4 steps that are followed in the Canny edge detection. So I will try to explain in detail. So the first one is, this is your Canny edge, in which first I will try to, it is a plain edge technique. It has an additional feature. It also suppresses the noise while detecting the edges flawlessly. Because of I am applying this Gaussian blur, Gaussian filter, so it will try to remove the noise. So for first I will try to convert the color image into grayscale image. This is the basic step in any edge detection algorithm. First I will try to convert the color image into the grayscale image. So what is the Canny edge steps, sir? The first one is step 1, in which step 1 is nothing but it has both two things. It has two things, that is, one is applying the Gaussian filter, and after this one, after applying this Gaussian filter, I will try to find out the gradient of the resulting smooth image. So whenever I apply this Gaussian filter, the image is smooth. After this one, I will try to find out the gradient. So I will try, whenever I apply the gradient operator or gradient filter, so I will try to get this magnitude and with the orientation. These two values we have seen in the first order derivative. So first I will try to, whatever the image is there, for that image I will try to apply the Gaussian filter. So this Gaussian filter, if I always Gaussian filter is nothing but you have this formula, that is with standard deviation 1 by square root of 2 pi sigma e power minus x square plus y square by 2 sigma square. So first I will try to convolve the image original image with the Gaussian filter. After convolving that one, I will try to find out the I will try to find out the gradient. So gradient is nothing but dou s. After convolving the image with the Gaussian filter, next within the step 1 only, that is entire step, entire 2 steps will be in the same, like apply Gaussian blur and gradient intensity of the image. These 2 steps are described over here. So first I will convolve the image with the Gaussian filter. Later I will try to find out the gradient of the image. So I am writing transpose, otherwise I can write like dou s by dou x by dou s by dou y. So after finding out these values, this is nothing but sx, sy, and after this one I will try to find out the gradient magnitude and direction. So for gradient magnitude, the formula is square root of sx square, or otherwise I can write like this, plus sy. And after finding, and I will try to find out the gradient direction, that is tan inverse sy by sx. This is the first step in the Canny edge detection, in which first I will convolve the image with the Gaussian filter. Later I will try to find out the gradient magnitude and orientation on this smooth image. This is the first step. So first I will try to apply this Gaussian blur. So what is this one? If this image is there, then whenever I apply this blur, this will be blur, and this is also blur. So this is the first one. So what is the main purpose of this one is used to remove the noise. Noise is removed by using this whatever the Gaussian filter I apply, then it is used to remove the noise. After removing the noise, then the second one step is within that only we have another step like gradient calculation. So for this one I will try to use this Sobel filter, because whenever I want to find out the gradient, then I will try to find out the first order derivative. I can use Sobel operator or Rabat operator or Prewitt operator. So let's understand what an edge is all about. Suddenly, yeah. So these are all. So whenever I apply this Sobel filter on the input image, then the same function, same whatever the Sobel mask is there, that mask will be applied, so that I will get this gradient magnitude of the image. This is the gradient magnitude. Once you got this gradient magnitude, like this is your gradient vector. So I will try to find out the derivation with respect to x and derivation with respect to y on the Gaussian filtered image. Later I will try to find out this magnitude and direction. So this is your gradient magnitude, and after, yeah, the same thing is again repeated. So I will try to find out this one, and preferred Sobel operator, and it is not general approach, but it is not mandatory to you go for only Sobel operator. You can use any operator. And after this one I will try to find out this same steps. So magnitude and direction. This is the first step. So in the first step I will try to apply the Gaussian filter, and later I will try to find out the gradient of the image. And in the second step, this is used to, what is the second step? So these two steps are in the first one, that is Gaussian blur is applied, and after this one gradient is gradient of the image is find out. And the second step is which is used to remove the pixels that are not edges. So whichever the pixels that not comes to edges, I will try to remove those pixels. That concept is called non-maximum suppression. So this is the second step, which is nothing but thinning of the edges because of the gradient magnitude. So in the first step, because of the gradient magnitude, we will get only thick edges, but I have to find out the thin edges. So the process of thinning edges can be done by using a special concept called non-maximum separation. What is non-maximum separation? Removing the pixels that are not edges. So for this one, what is the procedure that we apply is, I will try to take the pixels, whatever the edge point that we are getting by using the first step. I will get the edge points. For this particular edge point, I will try to take the neighbors. For those neighbors, I will try to find out the yeah. So if I am taking one edge point like x comma y, what are the neighbors for this one? X dash y dash and x dash y dash in this direction, and along the direction normal to an edge. And after this one, I will try to find out the magnitude of this one, and magnitude of this one, and magnitude of this one. So three magnitudes I will try to find out. So magnitude formula is square root of gx square plus gy square. That formula I will try to use that one, and whichever is having maximum magnitude, only that point is considered for the edge. That is used over here. So I will explain in detail. So this is your non-maximum separation. This is the next step in the sequence. So the gradient magnitude operators discussed in the previous stage normally obtains thick edges, but the final image is expected to have thin edges. So for this one, for getting these thin edges, we will try to apply this non-maximum separation, which is used to derive thin edges from the thicker one. So for this one, we have the edge direction already, because we are using the two formulas. One is magnitude and another is theta, that is nothing but edge direction. After finding out the edge direction, the subsequent step is to relate the identified edge direction to a direction that can be sketched in the image. Ideally, it is a prediction of how the movement of edges could happen. So for this one, whatever the edge point that we are getting, and I will try to find out the edge direction, whether the direction is in this manner or this manner. So what are the possible directions that I will get over here is these four we will yeah. So the possible directions could be the movement of edge. So whatever the point that is there for this one, I will try to assume the neighbors in the all the possible directions. That may be in the north to south direction, or it may be east to west direction, and I will try to find out in the diagonal direction, and I will try to find out in four directions. So whatever the point is there for this, I will try to consider all the neighbors for this one and the four directions. And after considering that one, I will try to find out whether that edge is there in that particular direction. If the edge is there in the particular direction, then I will consider that particular edge. If the edge is not there, then I will discard, I will remove that particular pixel. That is called non-maximum. So for each possible edge point, I will try to find out the direction of that particular edge in all the directions. So I can have four directions only, that is north to south, or east to west, or both diagonals. So these are the four things. So the central cell is the region of interest for us. It is important to understand this point. So that is nothing but central, that is the edge point that we are getting by using the first step. And after this one I can try to find out the four directions of the pixel. So what are the four directions? It may be 0 direction, or it may be 45 degrees direction, or it may be 90 degrees direction, or it may be 135 degrees direction. So these are the four things. So it forces to a situation where the edge has to be defined oriented in all those four directions only. This kind of approximation where if the orientation edge is observed to be 5 degrees, then I can take it as 0. We will see. And next 45 means after finding out this edge point, for each edge point I will have two things. One is magnitude will be there, and um, uh, another is your orientation will be there. After finding out this orientation by using this formula tan inverse of this sy by sx, then I will get some degrees. If those degrees are in 0 degrees, then I can say this edge is in this direction. If this degree is some value like 45, then I will try to consider this direction. Like this I will get the orientation. After this one, but if I am getting this 5 degrees kind of thing, then I can consider it as 0 degrees only. If it is 43 degrees, then I can consider it as 45 degrees. So for this one I will try to explain with an example. Like here, for easy understanding, we have drawn a semicircle with the color shading. It is representing 180 degrees, but actually 360, like this one. If I am taking one point, whenever I am getting this point, I will have all these directions. Like I have in this direction, and total these directions, that edge will be there in this direction. So whatever this for a particular point, I will consider all the four directions. This is 45 degrees, and this is 90 degrees, and this is 0 degrees, and this is your 135 degrees. These are the four things. So any edge which comes under yellow range is 0 degrees. So whenever if the edge is in this, actually this negation also will be there. So if the edge, whatever the theta value that we are getting, if it is 0 and actually it is 0 or 22.5 and 157.5 to 180 degrees, then I can consider it as 0 degrees. And any edge degree that is coming in the green range, like this is your green range, up to this one, this is your green range, then I can consider it as 45 degrees range. And like this I can have four directions for finding out those edge should be in the in which direction that edge is there. To find out that one, I will try to consider these 4 degrees. So it is like this one. So if it, for example, if minus 22.5 to 22.5, I will make it as 0 only. So if I have one point, then for this one I will try to consider the neighbors, and for this point I will try to consider this neighbors, or for this point I will try to consider this neighbors, and for this I will try to consider these four neighbors I will try to consider. And suppose we have this pixel A, that is a gradient direction. Okay, for this pixel, this is edge point. So for example, if I am taking it as edge point A, this is edge point. For this point I have both magnitude, which is using this sx square plus sy square, and after this one theta, that is nothing but tan inverse sy by sx. Once you got this theta, then I will try to get the direction. For example, if the theta value is 17 degrees, so 17 degrees is near to 0, so I will consider only these points as edge points. So whenever I am getting this theta value, if it is 0, if it is 0 to 22.5, or otherwise minus 22.5 to 22.5, but I will consider only absolute value. So minus 22.5 to 22.5 and minus 157.2 to 157.5, I will consider this entire thing as 0. That is the direction of the edge is 0 degrees only. And if the value is minus 112.5 to minus 67.5 and 112.5 to 67.5, I will consider the direction of that particular edge is 90 degrees. Like this I will try to use this one. And since 17 is near to 0, we will round it to 0 degrees. And after this one I will take the neighboring pixels like B and C. For this for this neighboring pixels also, I will try to find out the gradient values. So I will try to find out the gradient value for this neighboring pixels, and whichever is, if the intensity value of A is greater than B and C, then it is retained as edge pixel, otherwise suppressed. That is called non-maximum suppression. So what is the step that is applied in the non-maximum suppression? What is the main purpose of non-maximum suppression is used to make the thick edges to thin edges. For this one, first after finding out this gradient magnitude and the direction by using this operator, first for this one direction I will try to map that one to these four directions, whether the direction is in this one or 90 degrees, or it may be 45 degrees or 135 degrees. That can be based on this theta value. Once I find out that degree that value, I will consider the two neighboring pixels. For those neighboring pixels also, I will try to find out like this. After finding out that direction, after finding out this is your 135 degrees, okay. After finding out this direction, I will try to find out the neighboring pixels. For this neighboring pixels also, I will try to find out the magnitude. If this magnitude value is greater than this one and greater than this one both, then I will consider this as the magnitude. If it is I will consider that as the edge point, otherwise I will discard that particular edge point, so that I will get only the edges which are thin edges I will get. That is called removing the pixels that are not edges. So I will try to find out this one. After this one, after applying this particular thing, I will, after applying this particular thing, I will try to find out the direction of edges. So all this for the image, I will try to find out the direction edges. Like I will get some as green color, some as yellow color, and some as blue color, which are nothing but 135 degrees. Or I will try to get that edge directions. After getting that edge directions, yeah, this is called non-maximum suppression. So whatever the edge directions are all determined, and the non-maximum suppression is to be applied. So by applying this edge directions and non-maximum suppression, I will find out only the edges which are whatever the pixels that are required for the correct edge. That is called edge localization. I will try to find out the correct I will try to find out the correct edge points. That is called edge localization. So after this, what is the final step is nothing but thresholding is applied. So this is the yeah, after gradient image magnitude is there. For this, if I apply this non-maximum separation, if you observe this one, this is somewhat thick edge, but after applying this one, I will try to get some thin edges. So this is your non-maximum separation, and the final step within the Canny edge is applying this hysteresis thresholding. So the first step, these two steps are clear. That is first applying the Gaussian blur. After that one, I will try to find out the intensity. From this intensity of this image, I will try to find out magnitude and theta. From this theta, I will apply the non-maximum separation, in which I will try to find out the direction of the edge. And after finding out the direction of edge, I will consider the neighboring pixels. I will try to find out the magnitude of neighboring pixels, and whichever is having the maximum magnitude value, only that will be considered for the edge point, and the remaining will be discarded, so that I will get the thin edges. And the last step is I will apply this hysteresis thresholding. So what is the objective of this step is that only large amount of change in gradient magnitude. So this is the final step which is used to consider the correct edge points. What are the edges which are this is the final step which is used to find out the correct edges, or otherwise the last step nothing but too many responses. You don't want to get the too many responses, and double kind of edges, all those can be neglected in the first third step, thresholding. So in case of this thresholding, I will try to apply double thresholding. Means I will take two threshold values. Generally we will try to take only one threshold value, but here we will take two threshold values. One is the high threshold value, another is the low threshold value. So if the gradient of the pixel is above the high threshold value, so whatever the gradient, after finding out this one, first step we will try to find out the blur, after this one images, and the second step is we will get the edge points which are having the highest magnitude values, whichever are having this highest magnitude values, only those points will be getting. After this getting this gradient for that pixel, I will compare this magnitude value with the threshold value. I will take these threshold values. After taking this threshold, I will take this threshold value like 125, something like this. I will take low threshold value as 50. So these are the threshold values which I will take between only 0 to 255. These threshold values also I will take the optimal values which will give the correct result. So I can take it as trial and error method, or by using some algorithm I can get this high and low threshold optimum values. After this one, whatever the gradient pixel is there, after applying this non-maximum separation, I will get the gradient pixels. For those pixels, I will compare with the threshold values. If that particular gradient of the pixel is above this high threshold value, then I can declare it as edge pixel. Then I will consider that for the final edges. And if that gradient of the pixel is below low, then I can declare it as non-edge pixels. So after getting all those in the non-maximum separation, I will try to get all the edge points. After this also, after getting this edge point also, each edge point, so everything is edge point only, this particular edge point I will compare with the two threshold values. That is called hysteresis thresholding technique, in which I will try to take two thresholding values or double thresholding. I will take high threshold value and low threshold value. That particular pixel is compared, if that particular pixel, whatever the pixel that we are getting in the non-maximum separation, if that pixel value will be compared with high, if that is greater than this particular high value, if it is greater than that particular high value, then I can consider it as edge pixel. But if it is that gradient of the pixel is below this low value, then I can consider it as non-edge pixel. So if that particular, if for example, if I am taking this as my edge, if that edge is greater than this particular high, so definitely these are edge points. Definitely this will be there in the edge points. And if some points are in this way, in this, if the edge is in this direction, then it is below that particular low value. So I will discard this directly. I will discard this particular. But only thing is, what is the criteria of is if the gradient of the pixel is between low and high value. If it is between this low and high value, then I can declare it as an edge pixel if and only if it is connected to an edge pixel directly. Means if I am taking this one, if I this way, these are all the edges which these are all the edge points. These are all the edge points which are between low and high values. Then if these particular points are connected to the edge, that is nothing but like yeah, that is nothing but greater than high values are there, right? If this is connected to this one, then I can consider this also as edge. These points are also connected to this edge, so that's why I can consider it as edge. But if I consider this edge, this is not at all connected to this big greater than high points, so directly I can discard this. This is not edge. So that is the technique that we are applying in the hysteresis thresholding. So I will explain in detail. So like if I are taking if I are taking this edges, non-maximum separation outputs a more accurate representation of the real edges in the image. So this is the final step. So if I want to get first step is applying the Gaussian blur, and after this one magnitude is applied to get the gradient image, and the second non-maximum separation, which is used to get convert the thick edges to thin edges, and the final step is to get the real edges, more accurate real edges. I will try to this is non-maximum separation outputs the more accurate representation of the real edge, but you can see that some edges are more bright than others. So the brighter ones can be considered as strong edges, but the lighter ones can actually be edges, or they can be because of noise. Because of noise also some edges may be lighter. Noise may be treated as edges. To solve this problem, which edges are real edges and which are not, I will use a technique called hysteresis thresholding. So if you want to find out the real edges, which are the strong edges, that I will consider, and whatever the weaker edges are there, that I will discard. So for this one, I will try to apply this hysteresis thresholding. In this, we will try to use two threshold values, that is high and low. Any edge points which are with the high intensity value greater than the high value, then I can consider it as strong edge. I will definitely consider it as edge. And any edge points which are having less than this low value, then I can treat it as non-edge. I will discard those edges. And if any edge is between high and low threshold value, then I can consider it as edge if it is only connected to the sure edge or strong edge. If it is connected to the strong edge, then I can consider it as edge point. Otherwise, I can discard. Like if I are taking, for example, if I am taking this one, this is the high value. This is something like 200. I will take it as high, and it is take like low value is 50. And I will consider all the edge points. These are all greater than 200. So definitely I will consider these as edge points. And these are all below this 50 value, so that I can directly remove these are not edges. And in between, only we consider like these are the edge points which are connected to the stronger edge. So directly I can say this C to B is also edge only. This is also edge I will consider. This also I will consider. But if I am taking this edge points, these are all not connected to the strong edge. These are not connected to the strong edge, so that I can discard this also. So this is the technique is called hysteresis thresholding. So yeah, so after applying this thresholding, so the same thing is described over here. Like some noise may be also be considered as edge. So to remove this one, okay, still there is some noise. The image even raises a threat in mind that some of the edges shown may not really be so, and some edges could be missed in the process. So to remove that one, after applying non-maximum separation also, it will consider only the true edge points. After that also some noise may be noise also consider edge. To remove that one, I will try to find out this thresholding. I will apply this thresholding, in which I will take through two threshold values. The same thing we have. If it is greater than that particular threshold value, then definitely I will consider it as edge. If it is less than that particular threshold, low threshold value, then I will not consider. And in between, if it is there, if it is connected to the strong edges, then I can consider it as edge. Otherwise, it is not discarded. So that is your thing that is applied over here. So like if you are taking this non-maximum separation, after this one, I will try to apply this for the final step, that is hysteresis thresholding. After this one, I will try to get these kind of original edges. So if I am taking this like Kain's image, then I will apply Canny filter and Laplacian filter, and I will apply Roberts filter and Sobel filter and Prewitt filter. So I will try to show with the example. Yeah, ma'am. Is the screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I will upload this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting it. Okay. So we have in the previous class we have seen all this one Sobel filter. Whenever I apply Sobel X and Sobel Y, and after this one I will apply this yeah Sobel filter and Prewitt filter. We have seen. And next Roberts filter, which is also which is taking only diagonal, which is used to find out the diagonal values only 2 cross 2. Unlike this Sobel filter and Roberts Prewitt filter, we will take 3 by 3 filter, and both in the x direction and y direction, two filters are there. And Roberts filter also two filters, but only I will consider 2 by 2. And after this one, I will apply this template matching, in which I will take for each pixel I will try to take all the directions, total 8 directions I will take. And after this one, finding I will try to find out the maximum, whichever is giving the maximum magnitude, only I will consider that as the final edge point. That is your thing. These are also called as compass masks. We have risk mask, and we have discussed about the risk mask, two more masks, which are compass masks, which will try to fry chain masks. All those are used to find the particular, for each point I will try to find out the I will apply that particular filter in all the 8 directions. That's why this is called compass mask. And after this one, we have discussed about this Laplacian edge detection, in which I will try to find out the Laplacian operator. In case of this Laplacian, I will try to find out the second order derivative. So for that particular image, I will apply this Laplacian. And later we discussed about this Laplacian of Gaussian, in which I will try to first do apply the Gaussian filter. After applying this Gaussian filter, I will apply this Laplacian of Gaussian. That is nothing but second order derivative on the Gaussian filter. Later, that is your Laplacian of Gaussian. So in case of this Laplacian of Gaussian, what is the difference between Laplacian? I will try to find out the direct second order derivative on the image itself. But in case of this Laplacian and Gaussian, I will try first apply the Gaussian. Later, I will try to find out the Laplacian LOG operator, so which is giving this output. And in case of this differentiation of Gaussian, I will try to apply the Gaussian blur with one type of magnitude value, that is sigma 1. And I will try to apply another again Gaussian blur. I will apply with another kernel with some other magnitude value, that is sigma 2. Here I apply the first one with 3 by 3 filter, and the second one is 5 by 5 filter. After applying this one, two Gaussian filters are applied on the particular image. And first I will try to find out the on the particular image. This is the original image, that is Sudoku image. On that, first I will apply the Gaussian blur with one filter, and I will apply the Gaussian blur with the second filter. I can say it as first magnitude, first standard deviation sigma 1, and this is your sigma 2. After applying this particular thing, I will just do this differentiation, that is nothing but differentiation of Gaussian. After doing this differentiation, I will show that one. So this is your differentiation of Gaussian. So but only disadvantage of differentiation of Gaussian is I will get more noise. Even I am getting more noise. And after this one, I will apply this Kenny edge detection. In case of this Kenny edge detection, I have I have direct function called Kenny, in which this is the original image, and these are the two values. That only thing is I will try to apply the thresholding with the two values, that is low value and high value. After applying this Kenny edge detection, I'm getting very accurate edges. Like when compared with all the thing, even 8 is also will be having this edges 5. And only thing is I will try to change these values, like based on the changing of this low value and high value. These are the two values. Based on that one also, that output may be changing. So I have to here I am applying 3 important steps. One is first, image will be done in this within the function itself. Everything will be done. So 3 steps will be done. The first one is your Gaussian filter and finding out the gradient of magnitude, and the second step is non-maximum suppression, and the third step is your hysteresis uh, thresholding. I will try to give two threshold values. This is the low threshold value and this is the high threshold value. Based on that one only, it will, if that edge pixel is greater than that particular threshold value, it will be considered for the edge point. If that particular is less than, then it will discard, and if it is in between, it will do that particular process. So this is about Canny edge detection. Yeah, so that's all, ma'am.